From hostile deserts to lonely islands and the highest mountains, wherever there is space to expand to, humans do so. Cities are struggling to meet the needs of expanding populations. As rural landholding patterns and developing countries become less and less able to support growing populations, millions of migrants have moved to larger cities in hopes of higher wage jobs. The shortage of affordable housing in large developing cities has led to the construction of hundreds of thousands of illegal, structurally unsound dwellings on the city periphery, often built on illegally occupied land. The result is vast expanses of ultra-dense neighborhoods with little to no planning or access to basic utilities and public transportation. In the worst cases, the lowest economic strata constructs temporary shelters in interstitial urban space only to be driven out by city police every several years. Let's look at one region in particular, Ethiopia. In 2019, it was home to a population of 114 million people. By 2023, the population reached 122 million and is expected to grow more. Such growth will be a huge challenge for any society, but Ethiopia is also one of the poorest countries on earth. The current housing crisis in Addis Abeba, the capital of Ethiopia, is largely due to an escalation of the rural exodus and reflects the general expansion problem worldwide. With 80% of the population in Addis Abeba living in slums and urbanization at a rate of 8% per annum, this is a problem that will intensify if it isn't tackled quickly. At the moment, only 7% of houses in Addis Abeba are connected to any kind of sewer system, and nearly a quarter of residents have no access to a toilet. Around 35% of properties in Ethiopia only have one room. This causes widespread overcrowding with a lack of sanitation, and disease is rife. Aware, one of the poorest neighborhoods of Addis Abeba, is facing the same problems. Thus, the Ethiopian government promoted a full-scale project, the condominium blocks. The housing project faces the matter of density and provides a fast construction process, but three main problems can be highlighted: high production cost, import of foreign technologies, and building configuration that does not match with the social context. So, how can the different socio-spatial layers that characterize the fabric of the Awada neighborhood be reinterpreted into a low-rise project able to reach the same density of the condominium blocks? How can the project be feasible and promote itself as a flexible, standardized system whilst maintaining low costs? Let's look more into this. Fasil and Ayana are an Ethiopian family based in the Awade district of Addis Abeba. They've been living together with their 6 children in a one-room house for the past years. The lack of facilities and space, and with a new child on the way, the couple is looking for a solution, but money is tight, and so is the space in the area. As they want to stay close to their families and friends, there are few possibilities. They have seen a recent project that has been built next to their house. Neighbors and friends that were involved in the building process say it is a prototype that was developed in Germany at the Technical University of Berlin. Those involved were architecture students working together with architects and structural engineers, in cooperation with the Ethiopian Institute of Architecture and the non-governmental organization Habitat for Humanity, who are helping raise money and organizing the rehabilitation. Moreover, in the last months, many new water towers, biogas plants, recycling and power hubs have been installed around the neighborhood. The NGO is looking for people from the community that are in need of a job and want to get involved and help with building and developing the area. It's a great opportunity for the locals to learn new skills, contribute to their community and earn money. But what does this all mean? The couple decides to look into it. A cheap, easy to build and flexible project with complete off-grid facilities. The prototype should be built in the entire Awade district. The current situation in the area is shaped by narrow streets, fences and lack of public space. Thus, daily life runs on the street and many locals have small shops and temporary sales units alongside the roads. The situation in the compounds is even tighter. With activities like washing, drying clothes and cooking happening there, the space for this is even more limited. Every prototype is independent, allowing the entire project to be built in phases, to develop through time and organically integrated into the surrounding physical structures. This avoids disruptive spatial and social breaks between old and new structures and communities. As the social spatial layers are affected by the density, the proposed development shows big increase in creating densification. while platforms and bridges enacts a holistic strategy of multiple scales, from the main urban streets to the intimacy of the compound and eventually to the most private space of the dwelling, multiplying the courtyard idea and connecting the existing buildings with the new project. The created courtyards are giving space for playgrounds, gathering areas, markets, gardening, and infrastructure and all other communal activities. The backbone of the project is the idea of a residential compound, a physical and social structure composed by two elements: an incremental housing block with a maximum of 3 floors, an elevated ground floor and circulation system using local construction materials. The project allows a variety of floor plan alternatives for the ground and upper floors, showcasing the commercial and rentable use of space in the ground floors by creating possibilities for the users to create their own business in their house, while the upper floors are entirely for living purpose. The average apartment size is between 21 and 42 square meters, allowing an average of 1 to 9 people to live and work there. Facades and roofs are customizable and give space for individuality. The off-grid infrastructure allows the users to be independent, without reliance on one or more public utilities, creating a cheap alternative to it. PV panels fixed on the roofs allow for energy from the sun to be converted into electrical energy, while rainwater is funneled from the roof of the building to underground water tanks where the water is stored until needed. Further water supplies can be taken from the water towers in the area. So, knowing all the facts about the project, Fasil and Ayana are now put in touch with the specialists hired by the NGO to receive information about the construction details. The hired specialists will not only inform them about the structure, but also teach them how to build it themselves together with their community. Of course, they will always be there in case of questions or problems. The project can be built using 2 different construction methods that offer more affordable solutions than those currently used in the governmental housing program. The project could be standardized and rapidly built using a wood structure. Alternatively, it can be built using a bamboo structure. Both involve the community in the building process. The former requires material importation, while the latter is more affordable and sustainable, using material that can be found on bamboo farms in Ethiopia. The country withholds 7% of the world's bamboo resources. The construction for the prototype is a pincer structure with a measure of 4.8 by 9.6 meters and a height of 3 meters. Connections are easy between beams and columns and are made with bores and screws. The secondary beams lie on the main beams and are attached with brackets. For an additional floor, the connection between the columns is assured by a square spigot. A square is made on the head of one of the pieces of wood. In the other wood, a square tenon will be cut that corresponds to the mortise of the other piece of wood. This splice is used in pieces subjected to compression efforts, also giving good results against torsion efforts. The columns are designed as pendulum support and embed into individual stone fundaments. Each column has its own load transfer and different reactions to the topographical situations. The stone is extracted close to the capital of Ethiopia. As it doesn't require any special treatment, the material is stored in a material bank and after transported to the site by cars or trucks. To ensure a stable construction and to avoid it from flying away, the stiffness of the structure is made by wind bracing on the small side of the structure, while the long side is reinforced with headbands. The walls of the building are filled with wattle and daub, a traditional building process commonly used in informal housing in Ethiopia. The finishing can be made with either plaster or bamboo. The floor construction is made with bamboo planks, laid parallel like floorboards. These planks are placed loosely on the bamboo substructure. Contrary to the current informal building, the iron sheets will be replaced with bamboo for the covering of the roofs, and will be fixed on a lightweight bamboo structure that is easy to be dismantled when a new floor is needed to be added. The verandas are made a separate bamboo structure and easy to expand. The design approach developed in the project makes it a feasible and competitive alternative approach to the condominium blocks in matters such as cost, time, labor, and skills. In botany, the prototype is associated to the growth of the plant's underground roots. Likewise, the project stands for a continuous growth of an interconnected sequence of spaces that stems from a unique simple element, the residential compound. After so much theory comes the practice. The NGO is offering them to build a new floor on top of the existing prototype close to their house. This way, they are close to the construction site and can move in easily, but also split the lease cost with the family on the ground floor. As the land is state-owned, but the desire to densify and give people a better lifestyle is high for the government, the land is being leased for new projects. People will pay a monthly lease and can build state-approved projects like the prototype on it. The construction is supervised by the specialist and part of the architectural team. In no time, the new house is finished and the family moves into more space. The old house is redeemed by the government and demolished for further project space. The materials of the building are either recycled or stored in the local district deposit for further use. So, why not do like Fasil and Ayana and start now?